Recording.
YouTubers.
So,
What happened here last time? Okay, so we will start with getting into into the care. So, after arriving at the gate and again announcing their presence, a different guard answered them, and after y'all stated that you would not be leaving, he woke up the night guard, um, called him by name, at which Nowhere and Celestine both heard. The day guard called the night guard Horwar, who asked where they had slept the night before. After deducing that they had dealt with the Dwergar threat, he left to check with his boss, who told him to let them in as their interests were aligned if they were willing to kill the Dwergar. Horwar raised the portcullis for y'all, and you entered the courtyard. Hearing dogs howling, Celestine went to check it out. Talked with the dogs, finding out that they have only ever known the master and his staff. Everything was fine until the new guests arrived a couple 10 days ago, at which point things started changing and the kids started living with them. They are fed well, so they are not complaining about being where they are. Same time, the little boy was talking with Nowhere and Claudette and let them know that the speaker was inside. Y'all headed indoors at that point, looking for the speaker. After knocking on the door, the answer, Claudette pushed against it, and to her surprise, it opened with ease. Inside, a young tiefling girl was cleaning up some dishes off the tables. They asked where they could find the speaker. She timidly pointed in the direction upstairs. Y'all made your way up to the speaker's bedchamber. The guard answered and went to close it in Celestine's face. Y'all getting a little bit of a tiff with that. Ended up coming back down to talk to his boss, Cardroth. Cardoth? Yeah, that one. Who was being very open with you and telling you that he was in charge of Caer Dineval, but to not arise suspicion within the townspeople, he has spread the rumor that Speaker Seaver is sick and cannot take visitors. He's allowing the speaker to continue on living his lavish lifestyle, but he stays under guard in his bedchamber, except when Cardoth needs him to sign official documents. Celestine directly stated that they needed to see the speaker, and after talking with the speaker, decided to rout the care of this group, who was essentially holding the speaker prisoner in his room. And so, y'all fought, killing Kadroth and Seaver's guard, but not in time before Cardroth was able to call Thub and the rest of the guards. As we ended the session, y'all are under siege by a massive army of guards that are dying almost as quickly as they are entering combat. Here's the new and improved beautiful map that I got off of Reddit. And Claudette, you are up.
The one right in front of me, I'm going to try to hit him with my main hand.
That will not hit.
Noticing that I miss, I attempt to hit him with my offhand.
That will also swing a little wide.
All right. With that, I will stand my ground.
And of course, I screwed something up. Um,
What'd you screw up?
copied and pasted the guards into this one, so I'm not seeing them when I hover over their turn order.
Right.
We literally could just re-roll and pretend like it's a new week.
Just one sec, I'll get this.
This is pretty much the same map, just drawn by someone else, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Because I remember him saying you sit at the table. I remember all that. Now you've seen it. You can imagine.
Okay. This one. Bandits round. Oh. That one will go up there and attack Claudette.
Is that the 901 one?
No, it's the 1201 that I erased because I thought it was dead because I didn't see it in the thing. And not it.
I so matrix that fucker. Yeah.
The 901 one will come up and try and hit Claudette. Woohoo!
Yeah, that one.
Splashing?
That's the one to the left of Claudette?
Yes. Or are you putting these in as we're...
Yes.
The 801, that guy will come up and also try and hit Claudette.
Everybody loves you, Claudette.
That one hit.
They were unhappy because they were all dying because they couldn't get to y'all, and now they have somebody to hit. 7 slashing. And then that will bring us to Arden.
Can't use none of my fantastic shots or I hurt Claudette, so. I will attack one directly below Claudette with my bow
That will hit.
Twenty points of damage. Good job, Dad.
Okay, this should have all been fixed. At least all the ones that are currently on turn order.
Cool. Anything else for Arden?
Nope, I'm done.
We'll see.
Okay, by my recollection, I have used my starry form to turn into the archer.
Yes.
Can I fire over this balcony here, or
Yes.
okay? How far up are we?
Second floor, so what, like 10? Probably
10 feet.
10 feet.
Claudette, is that stairway enclosed?
As far as I can tell, no. I think I can see you just fine.
Basically, I'm wondering if I were on the bottom, or on the bottom floor, right next to Claudette, would I be able to reach her?
Yes.
Then I jump. What do you want me to roll?
What do you do? Like 1d6 per 10 feet?
I'll usually do 2d6 for 10 feet, and then usually like an
And
acrobatics,
acrobatics.
or either acrobatics or dexterity saving throw to reduce it.
I think acrobatics for a jump to land on your feet kind of thing.
Ouch.
Ow. 7 points in damage, and you're currently prone.
Yeah, you're not an OP monk.
You know, I'm thinking our friendly little dual-wield ranger doesn't want to get healed tonight.
Why you gotta pick on me, man?
Right back at you, man.
And in your
I'm not picking on you. I'm just saying, you know.
in Jeff's defense, he's talking about an OP dead monk.
Yeah.
Okay. Then if you'll let me, she'll stand up and she'll reach up, grab Claudette's ankle and heal her. Actually, I'll use my spear because it's got more charges than I have spell slots. And I'll use 3 charges. Which was probably overkill. Total of 17 healing. Opal.
That puts me back up at max. Thank you.
And I will just hold my shield at ready and be ready to defend myself if I need to. Because that's pretty much what I got. That's my turn.
Silicon.
Ooh. I'm gonna do my normal swing and a miss. Swing and a hit. Swing and something. Did that work? There was supposed to be 3 of those. So.
Yep. Both the first and the third will hit. Actually, it could be the first or the second, but yeah.
And the 2 and the 3 don't matter because I don't have a favorite foe right now. I think I already killed the guy that was favorite foe.
Six, 9. And that's the guy in front of you.
Yes.
He is really hurting. But he is hanging on.
Because my pet is pissed. But not
A
quite
little
enough.
too pissed. So pissed that he missed while he was trying to bite.
You're good.
Nowhere.
Okay. I think I'm going to just fire my longbow
That will hit.
at this one. And that's 7 points of damage. Very good. I think that's it.
Last guy will. There. And. Right. Look at.
My turn again? Yeah.
No, he is striking at Illidan.
Oh my.
For 12?
No.
Guessing probably no.
No, it doesn't. Barely, but no. He barely dodges it.
And Claudette. It is your turn. That will hit. Which one are you hitting? Top one? Okay.
Correct. The one that just hit Illican.
Thanks.
Queen.
He's still walking.
Still walking.
1 second. She hit him, so give me a second. I gotta do the.
That's the wrong one. Still standing.
Guys,
Gonna hit with the offhand.
That will hit.
The damage is equally as shitty.
He's barely hanging on, but he's still hanging on.
Which one was that? Okay.
Illican, what did you do to your character sheet?
Nothing. Why?
You have all these empty spaces with 4s next to them.
Oh, you mean in the where the armor is, or where the attacks are?
Yeah.
It's so that no, I don't. I have everything separated by the type of attacking it is.
Oh, okay.
I
Basically,
like.
he's got a stranger way of doing what you did with your little asterisks on your characters, which I totally stole on my character as well.
Like, oh, what is he talking about? Oh, he's talking about that. Okay, now I know what he's talking about. I can do that.
Anything else about it?
Nope, that's the end of my turn.
This guy. Yeah, we'll go ahead and try and hit it. The 2-1
Hitting me.
or 4 slashing.
Is he hitting me?
Yeah. For 4 slashing damage. The next one will do the same. 19.
Hit.
6 slashing.
Sorry.
Next
Didn't get to
one.
the end time, guys.
We'll do the same thing.
Man,
And miss.
they're making you. They're pincushion.
Martin, your shot.
Yeah. Well, since I'm stuck with singles, attacked one just north of Claudette. Maybe. There we go.
That will definitely hit. I'm not even going to add that up. It was a lot of overkill, but it is dead.
Okay. And since that's it for me,
Celestine.
Reach out here and I'll stab at this guy.
It for 8. You can't do that. You already used your reaction.
Okay, I didn't know if I did or not, so I couldn't remember.
Used it on Claudette,
Okay,
or
thank you.
the guy that was right next to you.
And then I will use a healing word on Claudette as my bonus action. To heal her for 6.
Do again.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Can I play a healer mostly on World of Warcraft? One of the rules that I have is don't piss off the healer.
Alright, Elkin, your turn.
Hulk smash.
Wow. Yeah, both of those will hit. The 11 will not, however. And that one is starting to look a little
Since I haven't been
worn.
hit, one of my questions is, since I haven't been hit, is my cantrip still going on? That, or not cantrip, but it's pretty much with the voices saying you're going to die, you're going to die in the back of their minds. Because it goes on for a minute.
Maybe.
I'm down on screen. Lunch is being served.
Nowhere. Your turn.
Yes, I'm going to lean over the railing just a bit and attack this one.
Alright. That will definitely hit. That is. Wow. That's really crappy.
Yeah,
But nonetheless,
still does damage.
it kills it. Him, it, her.
alright. Well, then I guess. Because I'm just going to stay right there, so thanks. I'm done.
But your turn.
Has not been damaged at all, correct?
What's that?
That guy's not been damaged at all, correct?
He's been damaged, yeah. Not as
He's
not
better
as
off as
much,
the other guy.
not as much as this guy, but he's not looking bloody. The other one's looking bloody.
Okay, well that hit goes to him then.
Okay, that'll hit.
And then I will use my offhand on the one next to me.
And that will hit. Do you not get sneak attack on the second hit?
Well, that
But
sucks.
as you stab and twist the knife in, he drops to the ground.
All right.
Or quite literally all that it needed. Anything else for you?
No, I'll just stay right here.
Die! You're going to die!
He will go there. Watching
His turn?
you. It is the cultist or the guard cultist dude's turn, and he will move south of you. Oh yes, that one. And he will, after seeing you bloodied, and then not bloodied, and then getting close to bloodied, and then up, and then regaining again, he's gonna go over there and try and hit the one healing you. 19 on Celestine. That hits, correct?
Yes, that hits.
6 slashing.
Okay.
And that will be the end of his turn. Arden, it's your turn.
Well, I will attack the one that's remaining.
That will hit. Yeah. How do you kill him?
Well, arrow goes right into his heart. And as it enters his heart, explodes. And he crumbles to the ground.
He does. In a pile of ice.
Loot, loot, loot.
We left the individual that we were trying to find in his room, right?
Yes.
Then I'm going to go fetch him out. Or at least let him know that it's all clear.
I'd like to loot the bodies, please.
Give me an investigation check.
I'll help.
And then I gotta find the bodies.
I'm sorry about the background noise, guys.
Just don't start singing along and we'll probably be okay. That was supposed to be a joke.
Good joke.
All right, I'd laugh, but I'm looking up in my book.
No, he's got other songs stuck in
Oh,
his
ha
head
ha
because
ha.
of me.
I'll get you back. So, each of the cultists, when it died, um, the corpse freezes for 9 days, during which time it can't be thawed, harmed by fire, animated, or raised from the dead. So, as you search these bodies of ice, you find nothing but bodies of ice.
Awkward.
Yeah, I would like to search for my arrows, and I've used
Give me
3.
Give me one moment. Cardroth, however, as you Cadroth, you go over and search Cadroth. You find a ring of keys, as well as a dagger. And um, a set of robes, like a nice set of robes.
I imagine
as
the
well
keys belong to the speaker.
as well as the typical shard that you have seen, um, the amulet, the dark amulet shard that you've seen people walking or around their necks when people were walking around.
Can I take a few minutes, cast Detect Magic as ritual,
Sure.
hopefully?
Sure. Nowhere, go ahead and give me an investigation check. Yeah, you find all 3 of your arrows.
Thank you.
Outside of your magical items that you have, I don't really see anything magical other than obviously each of the bodies of ice that had fallen um, have a little bit of a magical glow to them. And then the shard that is around Kadroth's neck is emanating a slight bit of magic.
Okay. Claudette, did Claudette take that, or is it still around his neck? I guess, Claudette, did you take that, or is it still around his neck?
I kind of picked everything up and then just kind of looked at you like, are these magical?
Oh. I will point at the black crystal shard and say that is magical. The keys.
And you the black magical crystal shard.
Okay. I will hold it by the cord or chain or whatever. Try not to touch it as much as possible. But the dagger, keys, and robes don't appear to be magical.
I have a feeling that the keys probably belong to the speaker.
That's probably pretty good assumption.
So I'm going to go turn around, take the stuff, and go to the speaker.
Oh, you're nice.
Well, they're his keys, so why would I keep his keys?
You don't know what it unlocks.
I will go back with you guys. Since I let the secret know it was safe.
I found these keys on the ugly guy. Are they yours?
Yes, they are. Thank you.
Where do they go to?
Insight check.
He looks around and says, the castle. Or sorry, not the castle, the care.
Do I believe him with a 9?
Sure.
I know I don't believe him. I always believe him. That's it. Yep.
Why were you in this situation? What happened? What was going on?
The inn has been closed for a year. This wonderful weather has killed our economy here in Tin Towns, and and because of the time that it takes to get from the Eastway to here, basically nobody ever comes up here. So it didn't make sense to keep an inn open for people that didn't use the inn, and so it was closed down. So from time to time, when people came through, which is rare, I would allow them to stay here at the care. Back before the inn was closed, I would allow people to stay here if the inn was full. I allowed these people to stay at the care. And then they locked me up in my room.
I think your people need you. Now, we're here looking for a child that came here approximately how long ago, Celestine?
This point about 2 weeks. Is that right, Sky?
You talking about Roar or the...
Yeah, that's who I'm talking about. I'm not quite sure who Claudette's talking about.
The kid we're looking for.
Yeah, Kuar.
Okay.
War.
He will say that's about the time. About 10 days ago was about the time that this whole group of people came here looking for respite. He might be one of the ones involved with them.
AFK.
Are they all? How many were there in this group?
There were a bunch.
Okay.
Deleted them all.
Basically, I'm trying to ascertain whether or not they were all called in to fight us, or if there might still be others around the castle. Care, sorry. But if he doesn't know, he doesn't know.
Yeah, he will. He'll say that he had just talked to the red-skinned tiefling and the white-skinned tiefling and made the arrangements with them.
Did we kill them? Kudroth was the red skin. Who's the white skinned? Do we see them?
No.
Great.
You're good.
Okay, so we're looking for a white skinned tiefling somewhere.
You had all the fun.
Worth it.
Oh.
Then I guess we will go looking for other people.
Please, while you're... he will hand the keys back to you and say, please, while you're looking for them,
Okay.
if you
Alright.
find
I got
any of
cold.
my...
Any of your linen, towels,
If you find any of my
everything,
people
you
as
Hello,
know,
well,
Benjamin.
yeah, anytime you want to change them out.
they
Okay.
gathered them up kind of roughly when they locked me in here.
Okay.
If you can find any of my people, and he will hand you the keys.
Okay. Then I guess I will take the keys. By any chance, did you see them bring a rather large cauldron in here somewhere?
He will shake his head kind of confusingly and say, no, my cook still makes the food here.
Okay, just checking. Okay, and I guess let's go.
You have a bell or something that could call everybody to you.
But we do not.
You should consider one.
Okay, let's go check the rooms on the other side of the building real quick. Or we can just leave.
Let's
Apparently.
go check. More stuff. So let's try capturing instead of killing. So then I'm turning to ice.
Okay, I'll open this lower door, or southern door.
Alright, just one sec.
I don't know where everybody went, so I'm trying to figure out.
Sorry, I guess there's actually a door there that I need to open first.
Okay, the door is open.
I'll open the southern door.
Got that one open as well. You enter that room, a large gilded mirror covering most of the east wall, and other furnishings including an ornately carved wooden table and chair. And the only one that's in there when you get in is a black cat.
With my nature-y knowledge and experience, is it actually a cat?
Yes.
Hi, kitty, 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 kitty.
Okay. I will walk over and pet it. Give it a little bit of love. Even though I don't really like cats in real life, but...
Arch its back and lean in towards your hand.
Okay. And then I'll go and open the north door.
Chilly draft wafts through this bedroom despite a roaring fire in the hearth. Bundled under a thick quilt and seated in a squat rocking chair in front of the fire is a venerable dwarf with a wooden peg where her right foot should be.
Okay. Greetings.
Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Trying to show people who you see. Next to her on a small table is a plate of food. As you enter, she looks over at you and says, So, you have come at last. I have been dreading this moment. I am so tired of trout and life. I have a vision to pass on to you now. Hidden away, buried in the spine of the world, is a fortress on the surface. You must gather your strength and prepare by testing yourselves against other horrors in Icewind Dale, or you will not survive infiltrating the fortress. The Dwergar warlord from the Underdark has a crystal machine powered by the still beating heart of a red dragon. Its mighty wings beating with force like you have never seen before, and breath like the sun which will burn away the rime that has fallen the dale, bright enough to burn us all if you do not. And she falls dead in front of you.
Lovely, and I did.
Wow.
I'm back.
Okay. Welcome back.
Elkin says, "I hope somebody understood what she said because he couldn't remember it."
I think I got the gist of it.
They're fiery and
I just copied and pasted from my notes.
okay.
to
Okay, it's.
Chat.
I thought it was one of those things where you had to memorize it. You know,
Well, it'll
Yeah.
be
Not
in
a
my notes
total,
now.
not a total dick. A little bit of a dick, but not total of a dick.
I didn't think you were. I was just saying.
Okay, glancing around, is there anything obvious of obvious interest in here?
I searched drawers.
I'm not like, you know, trying to loot and everything, but if if there's like a, you know, obviously magical weapon standing in the corner, I'm not gonna be like, okay, let's leave that.
I
You
searched
know,
them.
there's glancing over the room. There's nothing, nothing of importance.
Okay.
Silicon, you're wanting to search.
Yeah, there may be a diary or something that explain her ramblings a little better.
Give me an investigation check.
And how about the south room? Anything obvious in there outside of the cat?
No,
Okay.
You said which one again?
investigation. The only thing of interest that you find is the same crystal black shard amulet around her neck.
I take that. Because I remember that the Assassin's Guilds were looking for shards like that. All the people around here, in case it's something that I can use later. And then I put it in my bag. I do not wear it. I just put it in my bag. and then I leave it for everybody else to do whatever they need to. But I do show everybody I picked it up so that everybody knows.
On these robes, is there anything that any of us could use?
You asking me or the group?
I'm asking both.
You're talking about the robes that you found on Kadroth?
Correct.
They just look like really nice robes.
They're not magical because Celestine would have been able to detect that, so
Correct.
Maybe they're just nice robes to possibly throw on over your armor and possibly blend in a little bit better.
what color are they?
Color are they? A teal color?
Did it blend in with the snow?
No, definitely not. Like a aquamarine, like a bluish greenish color.
Dropping it on the table.
He says, "Bring them with us. We can sell them, possibly."
Dropped it on the table. You can pick it up on your way out.
Okay, he'll pick that up so he can sell it, since they're a nice set.
Okay, I guess we start looking around out here, see what we can find. If there's anyone else out here, start unlocking doors.
I'm typing stuff on my character sheet. I'll be able. Loot.
Yeah, I guess let's unlock this north tower door.
Robes. Gym.
Looks like we have a stairway down.
Correct.
Let's go ahead and go down.
Is everybody following them or?
I am. I'm just trying to find out where they went because
I'm lost.
Yeah, if you can throw me wherever he is.
I'm by the main door. I was.
I'm switching levels or switching maps.
Okay. Is this supposed to be degaussed, or is everybody can see this?
Give
nice?
it a second to load.
That's why I was asking if I need to refresh my screen. Wasn't trying to be I was actually. Four beds, nice.
Fire.
What was that?
And a fire.
Oh, there were more rooms over in that building. Crap.
Yeah, you were on the second floor.
Okay, well, I guess we'll have to go back. Looking around, anything of obvious interest in here?
No, not really. Just giant hearth, well, giant fireplace in the fire, not fireplace, fire brazier. Protruding from the brazier's base is a bellows that can be pumped to reheat the dying coals. Copper brazier full of hot coals. That's about it. Furnishing 4 4 wooden cots with furs and matching footlockers. And that looks about it.
Okay, and this is the door just south of us here.
Correct.
Okay. I guess let's go out and go back into the other area that we missed all those rooms in. I can't believe I didn't think of that. I feel stupid.
Is there any secret doors in this room? He looks over at. About it.
Um. Oh,
I'm a little distracted. I didn't hear you.
I was asking you if you saw if you could find any secret before we left the circular room. If you could find any secret doors.
I still don't hear you. I'm waiting on something else.
Oh,
She's paying attention to something else at the moment, I imagine.
Do I see anything in them? Oh, guys, anybody low on rations?
I am actually.
I am.
I'm going to go 4 to Celestine and 4 to Illican. Okay, anybody not got the proper wear for this place?
No, I'm good.
all of you had cold weather clothing to start, so
So I check the cold weather clothing and give out the rations. Is there anything else in these?
no.
Alrighty.
Doesn't it look like she's wearing cold weather clothing? I mean, come on now.
You were given cold weather clothing. Whether you chose to wear them, that's totally up to you.
Yes, she's wearing.
Oh, okay. Check for secret doors. What is that?
Give me an investigation check. Nope. 0 secret doors.
Okay, then it's.
Are we gonna go back down the stairs, or are we gonna
You
continue out this?
went down, so now you were on the bottom floor.
And
Yeah.
or Celestine said she wanted to go back up because she thought there was more additional rooms upstairs.
No.
No, she's going out.
Over here in the main room, main building that we just came from. There's actually rooms on the bottom floor that we didn't go into.
You tell us where to go and we go. Ooh. Hey, there's another circle room.
There are a whole lot of other circle rooms.
Exactly what they thought about when they built this place was, hey, we need to put a lot of circle rooms here.
I'm thinking there are probably 6 more circle rooms. God knows how many of those go down to sub-basement. Or to a basement. Okay, step in here, and there's a tiny tiefling. And I
Isn't that what we're looking for?
No, she's a servant. Okay, Joss was the red tiefling we were looking for, and then, supposedly there's a white tiefling around somewhere too. But let's go ahead and go into these rooms down here.
Ask her if she knows where the other one is.
Go for it.
So far. I walk up to the tiefling and I say thank you for the help so far. We are looking for a white tiefling.
Kind of shrug her shoulders and say, I don't know where they went.
Okay. Thank you.
I just stay up here.
Thank you.
Your speaker's been set free.
I watch her response to that.
He's confused.
She wasn't actually aware the speaker wasn't free before.
Your speaker is no longer sick.
When was he sick?
Well, he was locked in his room. Always in his room, wasn't he?
Yes, that's what they wanted.
Well, he's no longer locked in his room.
Okay.
Who do you serve? Is she wearing one of those black pendants?
She is not. She'll say, just one sec.
You guys got where I was going with that.
She'll say, Avarice found me in a town and told me that I could come with them and serve them and I wouldn't be on the streets. So I came.
Avarice? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Was this Avarice a friend to Kidroth?
Yes. Well, they don't. They traveled together. They didn't really get along.
Is Avarice the white-skinned tiefling?
Yes.
Have you seen him in the last couple days?
I have not seen her at all. No. Not since we got here. So, with all the fighting, are you going to kill her? Where am I going to go?
We have questions, and that's up to the speaker of the town.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure the speaker here will let you stay. What is your name?
Damn you. Ikira.
Okay. You just go about doing what you're doing, and we will finish searching the care for any imprisoned peoples.
Okay.
So just go about your business, and I will talk to the speaker about you. Okay, so I guess let's open this door to the east of us. West of us, rather. Anything obvious in here of interest? Or in the next room?
This is, you've actually already been in here. This is the room that you went, this was the den before the speaker's office, and then you went to the speaker's office when you talked to Kadroth.
Yes, but there were a guard and
Gotcha.
a Kadroth in these rooms. But now they aren't. So, anything of interest?
Never. The bottom one, well-appointed sitting room. Looks like it would be there to meet with visitors, be it distinguished guests or concerned townfolk. Comfortable furnishings, and there's a fire that's kept in the hearth. And then as you get into the speaker's office, a fairly nice desk, fire in the hearth. And that's about it.
Check the desk to see if there's anything that he might have been working on before we interrupted him.
Give me an investigation.
Anybody want to help me with that?
Sure, why not?
You find a quill and 3 bottles of black ink.
I'll take the ink.
You want the quill as well since you took the ink?
No, just the ink.
I leave the quill for the. Oh. I look at Celestine and ask, your ability to find magic, can you see if there's anything in the room in case she talked with other people other than...
I guess I will settle down and cast Detect Magic again with Ritual. Or rather, as a ritual.
As you do that, there is you look around, let me read this. Oh, never mind. That defeats that. Okay, yeah. No, you do not see anything.
That sounded particularly evasive, but that would be metagaming, so. No, I don't see anything magical outside of any items that we are currently carrying.
Okay. And how long does this go up to?
Lasts for 10 minutes.
Cool. Then as we walk, we're good to go.
I will make my way over to this room and unlock this door.
Where are you? Where'd you go?
Across the dining room.
Okay.
Outside, or out the door. Across the way. Okay. Anything catch my eye in here?
Well, in the last two rooms.
There's footlockers at the bottom of these bunks, right?
Looks like it, probably.
I'm gonna look through them, see what's in it.
I'll help him.
Just sec. Hold on. Let's see what the. I don't know what's in there because the map the map has a lot of decorations, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that's what you're seeing. Just a
Yeah, we
map.
can see.
All right, this room looks like it is there for servants to rest, bathe, and clean their uniforms. Against the west wall are 3 crates of torches next to a large stacked pile of cut wood, and that is all of interest in the room.
Pull out the gem that I took from the speaker's neck while she's able to see magic, and does she see anything with the gem?
Yeah.
You didn't pull that from the speaker's neck because the speaker wasn't.
Yeah, you got it from the old lady that died.
Yeah, okay. The ladies who died.
Yes, it is faintly magical.
Okay. Then put it back in.
And
Since
then
we've seen it before, we know about it.
I will go up here to this door.
Ooh.
You didn't find anything, so she's still there.
We found some bacon.
I asked the servant where the guards normally slept. That were protecting, not the speaker, but the other guy.
He just looks at you confused. I don't leave here very often.
Okay.
The kitchen reeks of fish. It is furnished with stone ovens, a fireplace for roasting skewers of meat and boiling soups, and a wood block countertops. A portly cook busies himself at a table while a kettle belches steam over a fire in the hearth. A kennel by the door holds a pair of goats.
Okay. Do I notice a pendant around this cook's neck?
No.
Do I notice a cauldron in here by chance?
No.
Damn. I figured that'd be too easy.
Yeah, worth a shot.
Right?
Okay.
Greetings.
He looks over and you're new.
I am. Um, the tieflings that were occupying the care should no longer be an issue.
That's wonderful.
Your boss, the speaker, should be back in charge.
That's not as wonderful. Don't tell him I said that.
Oh, is he kind of a pain in the butt to work for?
Yeah, we'll go with that. He's just... He likes living the lavish lifestyle of a king in his castle. And having things prepared just perfectly.
Well, it has to be better than working for cultists.
Anything's better than working for them.
Good, I'm glad. Do you have any information? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Probably the only reason that they kept me up here instead of taking me with the others.
Do you happen to know where those others might have been taken?
I would imagine that they would have probably been taken down to the cistern.
Which is where?
In the northwest tower, there is a trapdoor that leads down to the cistern.
Okay. We will make sure to add that to our tour.
Any other interesting places in the keep that are off the beaten track?
Not that I know of.
And have a couple, since you're a good chef, I have a couple of questions for you as he pulls out his book. Would you be interested in exchanging some recipes?
You have a book of recipes?
Cookbook.
Yeah. I gave you a cookbook? Sweet. Alright, great, awesome. It would take me hours to write everything that is up here, as he points at his temple, down for you.
Out of curiosity, have you seen a cauldron that could, like, be never-ending food?
Cauldron. I've seen cauldrons. But you put food in them to heat. That's not what you're talking about?
No, this one would be a giant magic cauldron.
Never heard of something like that.
Never hurts to ask. Have a great day. We'll talk to the speaker about jumping down his lifestyle a little.
Thank you for your help.
Any chance you know where Avarice went? The white-skinned tiefling?
I have not seen her for days.
Insight check.
Go for it. you believe him.
Just check.
Every 3 or 4 days, she will come up, get some food, and then leave.
Did come up-
Unfortunately, I was, thankfully, to stay in here. So I was allowed to go to the servants' quarters and sleep. When I woke up, I came directly in here. I stay the whole day in here, and after everybody is done for the night, I was allowed to go back to my quarters to sleep.
When you say come up, you mean come up from the cistern?
There's a possibility of that.
Okay.
I do not know where she's at or where she's been, or if she's out in one of the towers, or I have no idea.
Okay, then we will keep looking. Thank you. And I'll leave. Oh, was there anything obviously magical in that room?
No.
Or the servants' quarters, for that fact?
No.
Okay. Okay, in an attempt to be thorough here, can I suggest we look at the southern towers before we go into the northwest tower?
I agree, but I have a question. Never mind. Did Celeste or Claudette search that one room for in case there was a hidden room in it? I don't mean the speaker's room. There we go.
No, I didn't check the speaker's room.
Okay. I go where the group goes.
Let's move over here to this tower and check it out. Anything of obvious interest in here?
No. Same thing as the northeastern tower. 4 wooden cots, 4 foot lockers, and a copper brazier in the middle.
Since there's a fire and there's probably this thing's been occupied, can I check the foot lockers?
Sure. An investigation check.
I'm lucky I could find my shoes.
Can
They
I
look
help
like
him?
foot lockers. Yes. Together you find 2 rations apiece. Yeah, a peach. Wow. 2 rations each. In each foot. Let me start over. Can't talk. 2 rations in each foot locker and a set of cold weather beer.
Okay. I'll gather up the rations and hand them out.
I'll let you keep them because I just got 4, and then I'll take a set of the cold weather gear because we never know if we come across somebody who may need it in the future.
Okay.
mean like the guards that sleep here?
We just killed all the guards.
Maybe.
You will have noticed that the guards that you killed were not wearing cold weather gear.
Yeah, they were
Cold did not seem to affect them at all.
followers of Levistus. They're probably resistant or immune to cold damage. Cold.
Okay, then I'll leave them here.
Um. I'll take some of those rations though. How many you giving me?
2.
You found 8 total.
Right. I was going to give everybody 2.
Then give him mine.
Well, that leaves 2 for Arden, 2 for Nowhere, and 2 for Claudette.
Yeah.
So you said you didn't want to. You didn't want any. So
That's why I said I would gather them up and then issue them out. I wasn't going to get the cold weather gear. I was going to let whoever wanted to have it. But then again, it might belong to somebody and they may need it since all this ice is here.
Okay, well, if like I said, I'll leave it. I was just going. Wasn't for me because I already had my own set. It was more of in our travels when we come across somebody who's like kids, like we've done.
okay, let's go up the stairs, I guess.
Claudette, we found.
You are
Well,
all wet, dog.
There you go. Did you want any rations, Claudette? Nowhere?
I took the 2 you gave me.
Okay.
I took those 2.
All right. Now I'm totally lost. It's dark out here.
New map, white.
Okay, that looks like an empty room.
It does. There are arrow slits in certain parts of the room that look over certain areas of the outside of the keep. That's
Okay.
basically it.
Which you might expect to find in second level of the tower. Go figure. I guess let's go out this door this way. Because the other way should just lead back to the parapet, which leads back to the other ruin we've already been on. The other tower we've already explored. Okay, what do we see in here, Sky?
This chamber is equipped with a system of wheels that looks like it would raise the portcullises and opens the outer sets of doors. In the middle of the floor are murder holes through which arrows can be shot or alchemist fire could be poured. The south wall has a row of 5 arrow slits built into it. 2 wooden cots covered with furs are in the northeast corner of the room. There is currently a human about probably in his late 20s sleeping on one of the cots, and the other person is a light red-skinned tiefling that is currently just kind of not where she's at right now. Just perched over there, her elbows against the wall, looking out of an arrow slit. Looks like she's bored out of her mind.
Greetings.
Kind of freaks out and looks startled, and she looks over at you and, hi.
Hi, what you doing?
Guarding the gate, as I was told to guard the gate.
Is she wearing one of those pendants?
She is.
Is there an obvious one on the human as well?
Give me an investigation check. Apparently he is facing you, so yes.
Okay. I will say, well, you did a great job guarding the gates. And I will kind of move forward a little bit and say, Kidras has been overthrown.
Glad you saw that. I didn't.
What? Or sorry. What?
Kidras has been overthrown. He's been killed. So I guess at this point, we need you to decide how devoted to this cult you are. I'm more than willing to let bygones be bygones if you're just in it for safety. Or job. But if you're going to attack us, you might want to
Do it now.
count first. What's your name?
She will yell out real quick. Warwar, get up! And he'll, slowly get up and see y'all and freak out again. And she will explain the situation to him, and he will say, well, it, looks like we should leave.
Where would you go?
Do not know where we could go at the moment.
Is this the tiefling saying this, or is this
Warwar.
Horror? Well, Horror, since, she yelled your name, your mother's looking for you. She's very worried about you. And it might be a good idea for you to go home. That is...
He's just in that kind of a pessimistic mood that he's like, yeah, I guess.
We were sent here to hunt down the cult that took you away. Your mother wouldn't have done that if she didn't care about you. Wouldn't have hired us if she didn't care about you.
They didn't take me away. They saved my life. My mother wasn't out there in the cold when I was about to die. They saved my life. she did nothing. And then when I brought them back to the inn, she told them to leave. So I left with them.
Out of character, I totally do not remember that part.
I will
Perhaps you and
look
your
at
mother remember two separate occurrences. Your mother's been worried about you. Your mother loves you. Your mother cares about you. And your mother just wants to know that you're okay.
Alright, then. I will go back to her since I no longer have a place to stay here then.
If you are willing
He'll
to... Sorry, go ahead.
he'll look over at the female tiefling and say, "You game?" Like, don't want to die.
Will you be able to make it back safely on your own? The two of you?
Yeah, we will.
Okay. Can I insight check that we will?
That they'll be able to make it.
Yeah, that and the fact that they're actually planning to go there.
Sure.
question. Did we just take those amulets off of them? Because that identifies them part of this cult that has not probably been doing really nice things.
That's what I was going to suggest, is taking the pendants from it.
Go for it.
So your insight, you believe that they will be able to survive in this cold
Okay.
with what they're wearing right now. Which is not much of anything.
Because they have those pendants.
You do not believe, however, that they will be. Something in his voice was a bit sarcastic when he said, "Yeah, that sounds great. I'll, go see my mom."
Hold up. Give us a few minutes here, and we'll travel back with you. We need to head back to that town anyway.
That's really not necessary.
That's okay.
It's the least we can do.
Your mother was nice to us.
It's her job.
Well, and we did tell her that we'd find you, and if we did, that we would help you get back home safely.
We
It's
have
very
to keep
sweet of you.
Is this
So,
the same sarcastic tone?
Yes.
sweet or not, we told her that we would bring you back safely. Since we found you, that's what I think we're going to do.
I really don't need your help. I haven't needed anybody's help since they helped me out.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to intimidate him.
This
Okay.
with my bolt.
What are you doing to intimidate him?
I'm going to look at him and go, "You don't know the gift you have. Take it from somebody who lost their mother at birth. You need to be thankful you even have a mother and be grateful that you're going to get some help."
Well, intimidation.
God, I hope this goes good.
Wait a minute. I'm going to try something before she finishes. Because I just want to think it's cool and I want to use it. Her eyes glow. As she talks.
her advantage on that. However, both rolls were 20, so. I see.
Stop with your sarcastic young self and understand that we just want to help you. We're not going to hurt you. We're not even going to kill you unless you try to attack us first.
You have deeply rooted mommy issues, and I see. And
Wait, did you just say that I have deeply rooted mommy issues?
yes.
You don't even know where to begin with my mommy issues since she died before I was even born. So shut your yap.
I'm guessing this isn't going to endear them to us.
We care enough that we're taking them with us, so
Yeah, I'm real tempted just to grab him by the ear and drag him along.
The thing is, we need to finish exploring this care, because we need to find the rest of the people.
Well, we could always tie them up and leave them till we come back.
I say,
Oh,
now,
hey.
now lead us to the residence of the keep.
I like the tying up idea.
The one problem with that is that if you tie them up, then they're going to be difficult in trying to thwart our efforts all the way back to his mother.
We could always do boot training.
There's always scared straight.
Boot in the right spot usually works real good too.
Can I try to get Claudette's attention and kind of give her a hand symbol, kind of like a symbol of her carefully taking a necklace off, and point at the two of them as I will step up and try to distract them.
Does that mean I get sleight of hand with advantage?
I said, hold on.
Oh, sorry.
Alright. There was just way too much really quickly, so, Celestine, repeat that?
Okay, I want to basically get Claudette's attention because right now I'm assuming they're both looking at her and I'm behind them. So I want to get her attention and kind of charade the movement of delicately taking a necklace off. Basically trying to convince her to steal the necklaces from them. And then I'm going to step forward and start distracting them.
Okay, how are you distracting them?
I will step forward and tap both of them on the back with the butt of my spear and say, hopefully they turn around to look at me. Wouldn't I do that?
Or get my attention.
I'll say, look, we want to take you back to your mom. And I understand if to a point, I can understand if you don't want to be there. I personally would love to find my mother, or love to have my mother back, but that's not an option. You have the chance to repair your relationship with your mother, but obviously we can't force you to do that. But we were hired to bring you back, so we're going to bring you back. What you do once we bring you back is up to you. I can only hope that you will take the opportunity to try to repair your relationship with your mother.
Okay.
Was that enough
Now,
distraction?
yes. Now, Claudette, give me a sleight of hand check at advantage.
Because you gave him a good enough excuse. Woo! Well, she does have two people she's doing it with, so.
Yeah, actually, let me get another one on the second one.
Silicon, could you stop trying to help?
Silicon, thank you for your help.
She rolled it twice!
I mean, heck, she could have got his underwear with that roll.
I know! He stripped him!
So nat 20 and a 20 with 27 and a 25. So yay. Right?
Alright, well.
As you take which one are you taking off first?
I'm going to take his off because he's paying particular attention to.
So, as you take hers off, he instinctively reaches up to grab his pendant and realizes it is gone and turns around and roll initiative. And we'll do this after break. We'll take a 15-minute break and then we'll come back in initiative.
Okay.
All we gotta do is knock him out, though.
Agreed.
Now, as many bruises as we can do there that time, completely accepted. How you doing, Dad? Yeah. I'm gonna go eat here in a little bit. You hear me?
I hear you.
Okay. Making sure it didn't happen again where, it disconnected me from it without me knowing.
No, you're still connected there.
I'm not going to spend another. Hey, we've been playing without you.
Well, half of this game I've been occupied.
What'd you say?
I said half of the game I've been occupied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
No,
keep
man.
interrupting you. We heard.
No, my roommate, we were cleaning the room. And I was doing laundry.
Mm.
It's all done. Everything's finished. Room's clean. Laundry's done. What?
Gotta love Jello. I mean, not Jello, but whatever this is. beat this kid upset a hit. That was good.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Welcome.
I don't remember what time we left.
About 15 minutes.
About 15 minutes ago.
But at her. Yes, that means she's here.
Probably a pretty good chance.
I am here. I am also there.
This thing looks like Arden and Illican in the turn order.
I'm here.
In the turn order.
I'm here.
In the turn order, guys. We're looking for your initiative.
Oh,
I'm not here then.
We noticed that was the point.
Yeah, I'm clicking. It's just not. Oh, no, that's why.
Waiting on Kenny again.
All right, so right off the bat, we're where turns around and stabs at Claudette.
Is it just me or do I only see my character?
You're not in the room.
So why is he attacking me?
She just took
You
the
just
necklace.
stole his amulet.
How does he know I did it?
The person in front of him didn't do it, and you're the only person near him.
Both.
I would have been in their room with them. I thought everybody was in the other room, so that's why I moved my token there originally.
When I say roll initiative, it's based on where you're at right then.
Back, okay.
So 23 and 16 against Claudette.
Both head.
For 11 piercing, and then we go to the top of the round. Nowhere it is.
Okay, so this kid is the one directly north of Claudette?
Yes.
Okay. Well, so I don't really want to hurt him, but I don't think I have a great deal of choice here. Yeah, I do. Step up there And then I'm going to strike him a non-lethal blow of the scimitar. I would think that the hilt of a scimitar ought to make a pretty good club.
To me. That will hit.
And I'm going to also use the offhand non-lethal at his companion.
And that one will just miss.
Just misses, okay. Well, guess I'm stand right there, stand my ground.
Claudette. I just turned around, stabbed at you.
Look at Celestine and I go, do you really want me to do this?
I'll respond on my turn.
I'm going to hit his compatriot with my main hand.
Just missed.
You guys shouldn't be blessed anymore, by the way.
But yeah, that too.
Thanks.
So that'll miss just a little more than it would have if you were blessed.
All right, so I'm just trying to get back to my sheet. Okay. Offhand on him.
And that will also.
Okay.
Is they still both standing and conscious?
Yes. They look very strong. Lot stronger than the guards that you faced.
I'll take my short sword and use it like a club. On him.
That'll definitely hit.
Did I happen to knock him out then?
No, you're still standing. And you were doing that on the guy?
Yes. If he's still standing, I'll take my scimitar and using it as a club instead of a sword.
So hit.
And that will end my turn.
My turn. Because I screwed up. Let me move my character into here.
Boy's got one hard head.
Right there. And keep whacking up on Arden. No. How far is that? That is 1, 10, 20, 30. I can't go farther than that. Damn it. Okay, yeah, because that's close as I can get to it. I'm going to... Because he looks strong. This is for your own good! Any one of those hit?
The 18 will hit. And that will miss.
Go for 8 points of damage. There's my turn.
You will strike out at Claudette again.
Both hit.
Grapple. How would I do that?
11 points of piercing damage.
You say you want to grapple instead of attacking?
Okay.
Yeah.
Claudette, I imagine you're looking kind of woozy at the moment.
I'm looking more than a little woozy at the moment.
Moving there would probably give me or I'll probably take an attack of opportunity if I do that. I'm assuming.
Sorry, what?
Hmm?
Sorry, where, what, where, who? Yes. Yes.
That hits.
Or mere measly piercing.
Okay, so has this been less than 10 minutes since the last combat?
No.
Okay, damn.
Been a minimum of 20 minutes because you've cast ritual detect magic twice.
You're absolutely right. And at no point during that time frame did we take a quote-unquote short rest.
No.
I didn't think so. Just had to check, though. Okay, I'm going to reach out and touch Claudette with blade of my spear. Healing her for 25.
She likes you a lot.
Very grateful. Just saw me go from bloody to healed.
One of those magical items that saves when you get healed for more than what you actually need. It saves the heal for later. It's a self heal.
Sounds interesting. Never heard of it. I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to go ahead and use Starry Shape again. Starry Form. And go into Archer again. Which I fire at the Tiefling.
That will miss.
Okay. That's it for my turn.
Tiefling will look over at Silicon. Yeah. 17, 14.
17 yes, 14 no.
5 piercing.
You had to go and hit me like that, man. Where's the
No way.
love?
No worry, your turn.
And you attacked me, so you said 5 piercing?
Yep.
Oh, and in response to Claudette's question, no, I didn't want want you to have to do this, but we need to keep them alive, so non-lethal damage, please.
I was just going to ask if we were going to put up with this and before we ended them quickly.
I think we told his mother we'd bring him back. So, and I'm sure she'd prefer to have him alive. So,
I was just thinking of cutting off his arm.
yeah.
You have been doing bad stuff, so.
And I'm going to strike with the pommel of my scimitar.
On War again.
Yes.
That will hit. Damage.
Sorry, what was that?
I said that will hit for 6 damage.
Okay. And then I'm going to use my offhand against his companion. And I think I'll use the blade. suppose that doesn't hit.
That does not hit either.
It's too bad. I guess that's all of my turn.
Why not?
Scimitar on the compatriot. Main hand.
That will hit.
Hand on him.
That will miss.
That is the end of my turn.
I'll use my scimitar on him. Or, excuse me, short sword on him as a club, not as a sword.
That'll hit. Bludgeoning. Does it matter?
Is he down now?
Nope. He's still hanging on. He's getting down, but he's still hanging on.
Yeah. With the sharp end as a sword, I am going to attack his companion there with scimitar.
And that will hit. Woohoo! 12. And 12, yeah, 12 points.
Again, I'm going to beat him as best I can. Hurting you more than it's hurting us.
They will both hit.
You said that question mark is there for a reason.
Oh, yes. That is there for a reason. So 4, 6 is 10. Roll me a d4.
Asking me to roll the d4 or him to roll the d4?
That was
Okay.
me.
Which one are you doing in your main hand, Kenny?
First one.
Okay, it would have been +4 to the damage for the first one there.
Again, when you hit, you hit with the hand axe and slash, and then as you throw the pick into the person, as it pierces their skin, it disappears. And it's teleported out of your hand.
You get cursed. That's all I want. Okay. On the second hit, that one happens,
Mm,
and
okay.
on this,
Gotcha. That'll hit as well.
latches on. How's he looking?
She is not looking too good.
By he, are you referring to the kid or to the female?
He is looking bloodied. She is looking like she is barely hanging on.
Okay.
Illiken hit her.
Okay. Just we have a confusion sometimes about gender terms and so forth.
Which person's being destroyed?
He will yell out and say, "You will not take me to her." And he stabs himself twice and falls dead in front of you.
Looks at Kent. I look at Celestine. Can you heal him? We can bind him.
Does he look like he's beyond my ability to heal?
If you're dead,
Sky.
Yes, I posted something for you in the chat there.
Oh, so he freezes over. Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay,
That-
then I'm gonna.
Even though he doesn't have that pendant on?
He's still a cultist of Levistus.
I will step forward and slam the butt of my staff down on the topless skull of this other character. This tiefling. The butt of my spear, sorry. It's not a staff.
That will hit. And that will knock her out. I'm guessing you are still going for non-lethal, or...
Oh, no. Not non-lethal. I was planning to kill her.
Okay. Okay, then that kills her.
Because I didn't care really about her. I was only going to keep her alive because she seemed to be friends with him. But if he's dead, then she's not worth it.
And she falls. And ice is over. Well,
So much for trying to be nice.
So what happens on the 10th day?
comes back to haunt you.
So we could still take him to his mother.
Hey, here, have a ghost.
Actually, Illiken, pick it up.
he looks at you and I have to find my pickaxe first. Then I'll pick him up and carry him. But if he's like that for a while, can we leave him here and find everybody else first?
That's fine. As long as we remember to take him back.
We did make a promise that we'd bring him back. And you said earlier, okay, did you tell us that it would be frozen for 7 days anyways?
Yes.
You told us it would be frozen for 7 days anyways.
The guard. Well, I don't know if that she knows specifically that it's 7 days or 9 days or anything like that. But yes, the guard peoples mechanically are frozen for 7 days, and the fanatics that you just killed are frozen for 9 days. I think, unless it's both 9 days, I have no idea. I'm not going all the way up there to.
It doesn't really matter. Okay, go find your pickaxe.
I start looking for my pickaxe.
While he's looking for his pickaxe, I'm going to reach down and grab those 2 amulets. Or the 1 amulet, because Celestine's already got one, right? Or Claudette.
Sorry, what's that?
Celestine.
I'm going to grab whichever body doesn't have an amulet. I'm going to grab that amulet.
Neither one have amulets. Claudette was able to get them both off.
Oh. Good job, man.
Spoiled, rotten brat.
I want to know if he was magic to believe that.
If he was what?
Magic to believe that.
Huh? Ooh, what?
Hypnotized,
Brainwashed.
brainwashed.
What are we?
The story
I'm
that she
confused.
gave and the story he gave were completely different. So
That's not entirely accurate. I mean, the story he said could actually be accurate because I don't remember the story that she gave us.
The story that she gave you was something along the lines of he went out to hunt, or I forget why he went out. I could look it up, but I'm not going to. He went out to do something out of town, and he was missing for a few days. And then all of a sudden, he came back not wearing cold weather clothing with 2 friends, and then he left. The story that he gave you is that they saved him, and that when he brought them to her, she told them to get out, and he left with them.
So it sounds like a brat being a brat.
All right, so where are you looking, Illican? Where are you looking for this minor speck of yours?
around the bodies, in the room, and the next room over. And then I'm going to ask if can't move my character. There we go. That's my dragon. I can't move. Okay. I'm looking all over the place. I asked for assistance.
Give me an investigation check.
I'll help him.
I'll help.
And the next time he does a detect magic, we'll find out if there's something magical with his stupid pickaxe.
No, I'm not going to do much.
Illa can give me the investigation
I'm trying.
with advantage for the help. As you're looking around, Claudette will get to about there. About there. And she should be able to see an indentation in the snow outside of the arrow slit down here.
Hey, Illigan, I think I see it outside.
I'll be back. Goes down and gets it. I thought we were in the basement.
No, you're on the second. You're where the controls are for the portcullis and the doors.
Okay. Well, he goes down and gets it.
Okay, so as you go down to there, you can't go anywhere. There's portcullis and doors.
Oh, I'm pissed. And I go back up and join him since I can't get to it. Because I don't have keys. Because you said you needed a key, right?
No. You just need to get the giant doors open and the portcullis raised.
Guys, can you open the giant doors, please? I'll keep an eye on this so that when he gets outside, I can tell him where he's hot or cold. Like, you're getting hotter. You're getting hotter. You're getting colder. You're getting colder.
Sure, I guess. Come on, nowhere. Arden, let's go in here and open this thing for him.
Or if we walk out that door, are we on the outside?
You walk out that door, you're on the outside.
I mean, if you're like right here, are you on outside?
No, we're inside the
Working up
gatehouse.
gate.
Well, I know, but I mean, normally the gate is... You have a walkway on the outside of the gate.
Maybe above us, but
That's
right
why-
now we're in the gatehouse.
Okay.
We're on the second floor of the gatehouse.
Yes, I asked you, or she asked. I keep walking around trying to lift the gate and getting pissed.
Okay, well, 3 of us are in here trying to lift the gate using the mechanism.
Alright, give me a universal, each of you give me a strength check.
Just straight strength?
Or, sorry, athletics.
That went well.
Man, I can't roll nothing tonight.
Can I lift the gate by myself?
Highly doubtful.
I am a giant. I got that extra.
Highly doubtful. You're not a giant, you're a Goliath. You are about a quarter giant.
It's what I'm saying. Figure out to ask.
Silicon, give me an athletics check.
Opal, are you on your phone?
No, why?
I was just wondering who that person was who just responded to me. So all I see is a text message or a phone number.
Maribel.
Maribel, okay.
Him and Sky are going back and forth about the new Big Chicken.
The Big Mac with chicken instead of hamburger meat.
Maribel.
Maribel, not Maribel.
Yeah, Maribel.
Maribel / Scrappy /
I didn't know
Char-
Maribel was Scrappy. I've got it in my phone as Scrappy, but I never knew those were the same person.
Actually, neither did I. I know him better as Scrappy as well. So did he actually get the gate open by himself?
No, not by himself. I will say while the three of you are trying to pull the wheel or the contraption or whatever it is that lifts the gate, all of a sudden it swings open as or it starts going a lot quicker as Illiken grabs the grate at the bottom and starts pushing up.
He's pissed.
But it's slow going. It doesn't just, fly up because it's not a giant.
Okay, well, if we get it up a couple of feet, maybe he can roll underneath it or something.
No, it goes all the way up.
Okay.
So he's having trouble getting it up, huh?
I am.
Wow.
Must suck to be a Goliath.
Oh,
They
man.
can't get it up, damn. I feel like White should be blushing right now because that came in from his dad.
What was that?
I said I feel like White should be blushing right now because that came from his dad.
I have learned in the past 3-4 years, my dad has a whole lot dirtier mind than I ever thought he did.
You can probably thank me and Claudette for most of that.
Oh no, I guarantee I'm 100% under the impression that it was there before you.
Oh no, that we brought it out.
I said, once we finally get of age, all of a sudden parents turn from, okay, you shouldn't be saying that. They have worse jokes than we do.
Actually, I was thinking he was just holding it in because he didn't want to say that kind of stuff in front of my mother.
Get out in the snow and let's start.
They're able to get the portcullis up and locked in place. They're able to get the door open with the other mechanism, and you get out there.
When I look for where roughly it was supposed to be.
There's a black circle.
I dig down to see if I can find it in the snow.
All right, give me an investigation check.
Okay.
All I'm looking for is a 1, honestly. Yeah, you find it. No problem.
And I bring it back up to join the crew. And then when we're done, I need you to check, see if there's anything magical, because not the first time it disappeared.
I'm just gonna give him an "Are you serious?" look and be like, "It has teleported out of your hands twice."
Well, you might be able to tell me something about it.
Maybe you should try to attune with it on our next break.
Yeah.
All my spells are gonna be able to tell you is it magical? I'm gonna say yes. Just throwing that out there.
Well, okay. You haven't. You've used it before, so I would know. Tell me what area of that it's magic with is what I'm referring to. Mhm.
Um, I don't know for sure. I haven't specifically concentrated on it while that spell was up, but
That's
I'm
why I say
guessing
not
it's probably
now.
conjuration.
That's what I was saying. Oh, not now, but the next time, because I can use. I'm going to start using my other one because I'm tired of it disappearing on me. Okay, let's go find these people.
Okay.
Did we already check the body to see if there's anything else left on them?
They're frozen, like the guards.
Oh yeah. I'm on about my own pickaxe. Can't remember.
Okay, I'll come to this door and open it up.
The west one or the north one?
We already know where the north one goes, so west one.
No. There's that one.
Oh, okay, yeah, that one.
Ooh.
I'm
Since
sorry.
I'm on this page, I will open them both, but
Sorry, I'm looking at that and I was totally seeing the map a different way. Anything of interest in here outside of all these fancy little weapons?
in the middle of this small room is a rack of 20 spears, and resting against the back wall is an unlocked wooden chest.
What's in the chest?
I open the wooden chest. After I check
Without
for traps,
checking for traps? Wow.
before I check for traps before I do it.
Give me a thieves' tools check.
Dexterity,
Wisdom.
wisdom.
You see no traps.
Okay, we'll open it up.
And as you open it up, nothing happens. It contains 6 earthenware flasks, each sealed over with an immovable lid. Each flask will fit easily within the palm of your hand. On both sides of the pot, someone has painted a black stencil drawing of a naked flame erupting from a pile of jagged shards.
Sure.
And with my knowledge of herbalism, can I tell what this is? It's kind of a gray area, but
Give me an Arcana check.
I had advantage on that, right?
Has something to do with fire.
Yeah. Okay. You want any of these, Claudette?
Sounds to me like hand grenades or something similar.
Do I
Yeah.
recognize?
What's that?
I'm asking Sky if I recognize them in my long history of traveling the world.
Um, give me a history check.
That was almost as good as my Arcana check.
You've seen them before, but you're not sure what they do.
I'd hold off until we can get these investigated by a professional.
How many were there?
6. And hanging from hooks on the walls are 8 longbows and 8 quivers. Each quiver has 50 arrows.
I look at the archers in our group. Do you want me to carry these?
How many of us are archers?
I am.
Technically, we all are.
Oh,
Why don't we all take a quiver and a bow?
Claudette can only use short bows, though.
Okay.
Everyone else can use longbows. I've got a longbow. I don't need one. And I don't need any arrows either, so you guys can...
And you
Go
don't
for it.
detect any. You don't detect any magic in them.
I will take 10 minutes to cast that spell as a ritual.
hey, cool! I can find out.
We
about
take a
that.
short break.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What do we recover during a short break?
Hit
Hit
points.
points if you use your hit dice.
We all need a long break.
Well, some of us have abilities that recover during a short break. I definitely need one.
Especially if we're going to run into any more baddies.
Yes, I am out of wild shape charges, so I definitely need a long break or a short break. But I will cast Detect Magic as a ritual first.
None of the weapons in this room are magical.
I show him my pickaxe.
Yes, it is magical and it is have conjuration magic on it.
I'll take 2 quivers of the arrows.
Know where are you taking any of these arrows?
I can take 2 quivers. They're 50 apiece, right?
There's 5.
Yep.
I give him the one that he was going to give to me because I'm mostly hand to hand, and I just take one. So, and since they're carrying them, I let them carry them, unless they want me to.
What?
I
said
thought there
there
were
was
6,
Oh, I
and
thought
we've each taken 2, so that means there's still 2 hanging on the wall.
Okay. I thought other people were taking them, so that's why I'm like, and then I still take one. Quivers.
You said there's 50 arrows in each run, right, Sky?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Are you going to take the last one, Claudette? Okay, then I will take that last quiver.
And as you are looking around, the 6 earthenware flasks do not emit a glow.
That was my next question. Okay, so I guess down the stairs.
Okay, switching maps again.
Think we should go to the kitchen, maybe give her a living wage?
Well, before we go that, we need to go and check to see if there's anything else in here.
We just decided to do a long rest before we do any more investigation.
Oh, I thought we were going to rest inside the armory. I thought we were going to rest where we were in place.
Well,
Sorry.
there's a place down here to rest, and I don't know about a long rest. I definitely think we need to take a short rest.
That's why I was saying where we were, because I'm thinking of short rest as short rest in place. Not let's go somewhere else. But okay, I'm good.
Walking down the stairs, so it's nothing like horribly hard.
Unless you guys absolutely need a long rest, I think we should try to keep going, because who knows what's going to happen to those prisoners if we don't find them before.
Well, I don't need a long rest.
I don't.
I don't. I just need enough to heal 6 points, and that's it.
Okay, so let's go ahead and take a quick short rest.
So any abilities that you have that get reset on a short rest are restored.
And I'll use the hit points to heal up.
Hit dice.
That's what I meant. Where are you? Hit dice, hit dice, dice. Almost heals me completely. Not much though. There we go.
I think mostly we're doing it so Celestine can get some recharge on her healing.
I know Celestine told me that from now on, if that this is not me but the group, that if we take a short rest, we need to do hit points just so that it saves us for the battles.
Yeah, if we take a short rest and you guys don't heal yourselves with hit dice, don't expect me to waste my spells to heal you. Because that's just messed up. I will let you lie in your blood.
And right now he's mad at me anyway, or she's mad at me anyway, so I gotta make sure I cover myself.
I don't know about being mad at you, but...
Alright, OP.
Okay. So, has anything happened during our short rest?
Oh, nothing new.
Okay, so let's continue on into the last tower. Is there a door out here? Doesn't look like it.
There's a door here to get out.
I meant into the wall. Okay. Let's go out the
No.
door. What's this right here? Is that just like a fire pit that's not lit?
Well, no, because it's got boards going across it. Looks like ice shore. Oh, or maybe dirt. Okay. Yeah, it's a fire pit.
It wasn't on the other map, so I'm gonna go with they added it for flavor.
Okay, fire pit that's not lit. Gotcha. And I'll go ahead and unlock this door.
Is it open?
Outside of the, what I'm assuming is the trap door that we want to go down, is there anything of interest in here?
Nope. Same thing as all the other guard towers. 4 chests and 4 wooden cots.
Okay. Can I take a quick peek upstairs? Is there anything of interest up there?
Nope. Or yes, you can, and nope, there isn't.
Okay. I will look at everyone and kind of... Okay, everyone's not here.
I'm with you. I'm just
Know where you are.
Northwest corner. Northwest tower.
I'm stuck, Sky.
Okay.
with there
Yeah,
being
so-
a trap door. Was there a trap door in the other room? No, she did look at that.
No. So this tower, the only thing difference, between this tower and all the other ones that you've been in, is that it's got a trapdoor on the floor that is very obvious that it's right there.
Without touching it, does it appear to have a lock on it or be locked?
It doesn't look like it has a lock. It looks like there's it's like a, oh, what's that stuff? Twine. Like a thick twine that was probably knotted on the other side, and that's the kind of handle that's built into it. Like you're gonna have to pull on the twine, and then there's hinges on the back, and it'll flip over.
I check to make sure it's not trapped.
Thieves' tools, wisdom. You are pretty certain it is not trapped.
Shall we?
Mm-hmm.
I will slowly open it, trying to do it quietly.
I'll go over and start opening up that door real slow and easy.
Moving maps again.
think I'm gonna holler. Hello? Anybody down here?
Uh-oh.
So as you get down there, wooden ladder clings to the west wall, held in place with iron brackets. The ladder descends 12 feet to a hall made of mortared stone, lit and heated by 4 sputtering torches. Extending from the east end of the hall is a water-filled cistern. A small rowboat is tied off near the water's edge.
There appears to be a passage to the north, though, correct?
A 5-foot wide, 8-foot high passage in the north wall.
Yeah, you know me. I'm gonna check for traps.
Okay.
Or anything that could cause us pain.
Stay in place until she tells me it's okay. She
Chief
yells at me.
Skull's wisdom. You are certain, or pretty certain, that there are no traps ahead of you.
As we come on back.
This room is empty except for 4 sheet-wrapped bodies lying side by side on the floor.
Oh.
Nothing special about the bodies.
Silicon, are you going swimming?
No. Thought that's where they went.
No, they went up to the north.
All right.
Thought we came down the ladder.
You went down the ladder, yes.
Okay, I didn't see the door. That's why. How old do the bodies look? Are they mummified or are they still fresh?
Investigation check.
Yeah. I don't. I'm pretty sure around the dead bodies. I won't stay back.
You're pretty sure they're dead.
I get into the boat and wait for the rest.
And to clarify, these are wrapped, not frozen. As in frozen like the cultists.
My guess would be that this is the speaker's people who wouldn't cooperate with the ones taking over.
As far as you can tell, they are sheet-wrapped bodies.
Okay.
Probably of no use to us.
Then I gave you a boat. I gave you a boat token, Sky. I hope that's okay.
Yep.
Can we all fit in it?
Nope. 2 people can fit in it.
Any of us have specific skill in handling watercraft?
Only what I did on before.
I don't believe anybody does. I believe the only one that had it was Finnegan.
Of course.
Well, we aren't going to need a sail down here because there's no wind underground.
It doesn't have a sail. It's just
That's the steering.
it's a rowboat.
I didn't have a rowboat that didn't have water underneath it, so I just grabbed the one with the sail.
Okay.
Okay, know where you want to take me up? Can I see out in this darkness? Can I see openings?
Currently, you can see an opening right about there.
Okay. Know where you want to take me up there real quick? Actually, you know what? Maybe you should take Claudette up there. Since she's our sneaky one.
Question, can Claudette walk on the ceiling and walk across?
That might actually be smarter.
And I so I'll
Yep.
Claudette, feel free to signal us over whenever you find out what's over there.
Well, they're doing
DM
that.
tell me what I see as I just peek around the corner.
A rat is chewing through the corner of a sack of grain lying on the floor in the corner. Other than that, there's not much. There's a couple sacks of grain and rice, and that's about it.
Nowhere, Arden, why don't you try to follow her quietly in the boat? That way, if she gets in trouble, you guys can help her.
Well, you can shoot from the boat.
Okay. I can try, but I don't know that I can move the boat.
Why don't we tie a rope to it, and that way we can tow it back, and everybody doesn't have to keep rowing back and forth. Pull the rope back.
Sounds like a wonderful idea.
Sure, why not?
He gives his 100
Fine.
feet.
Yeah.
All right, Sky, what do I notice anything about this particular area?
Yes, there looks like there is a something.
Did anyone go with nowhere? Arden, did you go with nowhere?
Arden said he was going to.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Nowhere. Took the boat somewhere.
I just
Um,
don't want her to be out there alone. That's all.
yes, when you get to there, Claudette, there's a 10-foot square slab of blue marble that blocks passage further.
Is it like a door or is it
It looks like something. It looks like, I don't know, a door or marble M with an M.
I was teasing you. Sorry, I'll shut up.
I'm pretty sure I didn't say marble, but like a door, like maybe a sliding door kind of thing. Yeah,
able to open it?
it is 10 foot wide and approximately 10 feet tall.
Okay. Any pulleys or levers that would move it?
Give me an investigation check.
I'll help.
You do not see any pulleys or levers or switches or anything connected to this door.
Okay, we're gonna stop at the entrance and
Frost covers the floor of this dark 15-foot square room. Just inside the entrance stands an 8-foot tall pillar of ice with a horned, pale-skinned, um, humanoid figure trapped inside it. The pillar is wrapped in black chains, and the wall behind it is covered with some type of brown material. About a foot in front of the statue, a black rapier is stuck business end in the frost that reaches out from the base of the statue.
Can we see, or I guess, Illiken can't, but can I see them get out of the boat so I can start pulling it back?
before
No.
I step any further, what am I kind of sensing about this room right now? Hearing, noticing, and if nowhere tries to pass me, I will end up kind of giving him that, hey, wait just a second, look.
Just looking.
Oh,
There is an albino tiefling. Actually, let me make sure. Yeah. All right. So yeah, you can see from there an albino tiefling who is sitting at a small desk in the dark, writing in a book with white leather covers. And
any pendant or necklace?
not from what you can tell. I mean, they're facing. You can't even see the desk. There we go. Okay. Now you can also see her, and you can see a black crow that's perching on one of her horns and is reading along with her.
I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna tell Nowhere what I see. I'm gonna let him know that I want to investigate this other corridor before we even mention anything about being here. Nothing in that other corridor. Are you talking?
No, I said just a sec. looking something up and I'm not finding what I'm looking for, and it's really annoying.
No problem.
Well, I suggest before we do too much more, we send that boat back so that the other people can come. Because we don't know what this tiefling might be capable of.
My dog just got a hold of my insulin needles. I gotta go for a second.
That's not good.
They can see me, right? I'm gonna see them take the boat back and come.
You're actually out of our line of sight, or out of our range of sight. So we have to wait until either the boat gets pushed back towards us, or I just decide to start yanking.
Or tug the rope.
AFK.
I'll get back in the boat. I'm gonna tug on the rope and then jump back over.
Sorry.
Okay, well then I will start tugging and pull the boat back. Hopefully none of this is against Sky's wishes.
Always against Sky's wishes. You know that. He wants to kill us.
If he wanted to kill us, we'd be dead, because he could have thrown a dragon at us numerous times already. Anyway.
For all you know, there's a dragon on the other side of that marble door.
Right?
That's how it was in the D&D movie, like whatever, 20 years ago. Open that big
I remember
door, and there was that dragon.
So good girl. Yes, you are. You're a good girl. You need to stop acting like Raina, though. Raina is a bad influence on you.
What are we doing?
We're waiting on
So-
Sky to finish checking
Yep,
stuff.
I found the stuff. I was just waiting for her to get back. Her dad's still.
Yeah, he's still AFK for a minute.
Claudette, when you get to there, the room is empty as far as you can tell. Give me an investigation check. You can see a small lever on the north wall.
Okay, before we go and investigate any further, I'm going to come back here to let everybody know when they get here to be quiet, that there's somebody in here, and that we're going to probably announce ourselves once we get in this room to just ask if there's anybody in here.
Do you describe the person?
Yeah, I tell you,
I'm
it's
back.
a white albino tiefling.
No, and I remind you, we're looking for a white tiefling.
Well, albino and white are pretty much the same thing.
I know. So I said it might be the one that we're looking for.
I'm also going to say that I probably need to go because I just found out I have to work 11 at night to 7 this morning, in the morning.
It's 4 hours anyway, so.
That sounds good. It's a perfect place.
Woohoo!
I agree.
All right, guys.
Enjoy your night. Have a safe night work.
We'll see you guys all next week.
So wait, Opal. I'm sure he
I
left.
think she's already gone.
Okay, have a good night, guys.
Night.
Night.
I was gonna be all cheeky and ask her if that made her lady of the night.
Oh, that's good.
But oh well. Okay, I'm gonna log off.